The video today is sponsored by Calle Spanish School. One of the biggest challenges I face when moving to Mexico is the language barrier. Like many folks, I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, and as an adult, I tried to learn Spanish by buying books, using programs like Rosetta Stone and Duolingo. But the very best thing that has worked for me has been the intensive immersion Spanish classes in Merida, Mexico at Calle Spanish School. I did a video a few months ago comparing two of the top Spanish schools in Merida, Calle and Habla. I'll provide the link to the video in the description below. I am often asked by subscribers of this channel or clients of my one-on-one coaching program, do you need to speak Spanish in order to live in Mexico? Well, the short answer is yes, particularly if you live in an area that does not cater to American or Canadian tourists, which is the majority of the country. So today, I wanted to tell you about the 5 essential Spanish language skills that you need to survive in Mexico on a daily basis. If you know these 5 things in Spanish, you will be able to move around in the Spanish language world with ease. I will also take you along with me to Calle, where I asked the experts exactly how they would teach new Spanish students these 5 essential survival skills. Let's get it. What is good, Mexit planners? Hey, I am at Parque Santa Lucia. I just parked and I am on my way to Calle. Calle is the Spanish school that I've been attending, and it is an excellent school. It's just really like 2.5 blocks from Parque Santa Lucia and 4 blocks from the centro of the Zocalo of Merida. So I am here. This is a view of Parque Santa Lucia, and I'm gonna walk down to Calle Spanish School, or this is Calle's new location. And if you've looked on their website, they may still have pictures of their old location, but this is their new location, and it is located in Centro. It's only like 4 blocks from the Zocalo and maybe 3 blocks from Parque Santa Lucia. On my left here is the church, is actually the Church of Santa Lucia. And if you're downtown in the evenings, particularly on the weekends, you may see weddings and things of that nature happening at that church. So we've just arrived at one of my favorite places that I like to grab coffee. This is Greenback Coffee. And check out this cool little spot. You really wouldn't know it, but this is just a really cool location. And it's a block and a half. So it's like a block from Calle. Whenever I attend classes at Calle, whenever I attend classes at Calle, it's not uncommon for me to go to Greenback Coffee and grab some coffee and some breakfast. The food there is pretty good. So we're on Calle 55, 55, and as you can tell, this is a very, very busy street. 58 is the main street into Centro, and 60 is the main street leaving it, which is what Parque Santa Lucia is on. So one of the things I like about Calle's new location is that they're really close to hotels. So if you're in for a week or two, you could stay at one of the hotels, like literally right across the street, or one of the chain hotels. But this is Hotel Santa Maria, and it has a pretty nice pool. I've never stayed there, but they are closer to hotels in my opinion. So that is one of the cool things about the new Calle location. And just across the street is Calle. Let's check it out. So the number 1 Spanish survival skill that you need is to know your numbers in Spanish. Now this may seem very, very simple, but numbers come up in many different scenarios, from paying for things to understanding the amounts in pesos in Spanish, to being able to figure out the quantity of something that you need. It is important that you master the number system and understand how it's different than the system you grew up on. I did a video that I'll link to in the description below that gives you a few tips to learning your numbers quickly in Spanish. Number 2, which is directly related to number 1, knowing your numbers, you need to be able to ask for how much things cost in Spanish. Understanding how much something costs requires 2 things: being able to ask for the price in Spanish and also understanding the numbers that are given back to you as they're said in Spanish. This skill is something that is practiced almost every single day. The hardest part isn't asking for the price, but understanding the response when it's given back to you. If someone says that something is 300 pesos, what does that sound like and what does it mean? And how many pesos do you actually give them? Number 3, and this one's near and dear to my heart, you need to be able to order food in Spanish. Knowing how to order in a restaurant is probably the skill that you will learn the fastest. This skill is the one that is practiced the most. Asking for what you would like to eat, drink, and the preferences of those things is hugely important. You will find that the repetition of this process will have you fluent in table Spanish quickly. If you like this insightful information in this video, you will love the Creating Your MexitPlans course. The course allows you to create a custom plan tailored to your needs from 18 months away from your goal to moving to Mexico to 6 months after you arrive in your new home. Enroll today and take a look at the free preview lessons in the link in the description below. Well, I am here at La Calle. We're here with Raul, who is, what is your title, Raul?
I am one of the teachers.
When La Calle gets a student that has no Spanish, like they don't even know the alphabet, what is the process or what is the method that you guys use here to kind of bring them from the alphabet to being sort of coherent in Spanish?
We have a method that is designed for that, no? That starts from zero, starts from scratch, from nothing, and it's by immersion.
Okay.
We try to we have very basic exercises to help the students understand. Because we have, as you mentioned earlier, Monty, we have students from all over the world. So our teaching method is using Spanish, from Spanish, using Spanish, because there are students who don't speak English or who don't speak German. So we try not to use other languages to teach Spanish. So we try to do it from Spanish, and we have our own method that is proved to work with for that kind of students.
Okay.
So we try to using a little bit of acting sometimes, using clear drawings, for instance. That is how we do it. All our teachers get the training, some training for using the method, and part of the method is using the whiteboards a lot.
Yeah.
Especially, as you said, Monty, with very, very beginners, no, of Spanish.
Okay. Number 4 on my list of essential Spanish skills that you need to survive in Mexico is being able to have the Uber talk. For many folks, your first form of transportation will be Ubers, Didi, InDriver, or cabs. There's a pretty consistent conversation that happens on ride-sharing trips. Generally, the driver will ask you where you're from, how long have you been in Mexico, how do you like it, and if you're in Merida, they will tell you how safe it is here. They may even ask, what do you like about Merida? I've had this conversation probably 80 times, and that's on the conservative side. One of the important things to note about this conversation is it allows you to talk about yourself in Spanish. You typically will answer the key questions, who, what, when, and why during this conversation. My responses have gone from very short in length to full conversation since I've been here over the last 2.5+ years. Again, repetition is the key, and because I didn't have a car for the first 6 months, I got pretty good at this one pretty quickly. Number 5, giving directions. Being able to provide guidance to the driver or ride-sharing app or food delivery guy is very, very important. This requires that you know words like to the left or to the right. Phrases like over there or right here are super important. Knowing your directions in relationship to other locations will have you moving around Mexico with ease. Like, I'm a brand new student. I want to come and take classes here at La Calle. What's the recommended number of weeks to kind of get started? Or is there a recommended number of weeks?
What I would recommend, like survival Spanish would be 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
To learn like the very basics, like finding your way out, being able to ask questions and understand the answers to those questions. I would say 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
That's survival Spanish, no? Being able to introduce yourself, to introduce other, being able to explain directions and understand directions, being able to compare. That's, I would say that all of that taking place in present tense.
Okay.
I would say 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4
weeks, and you will feel that you're on your way.
You're on your way.
If you can stay longer, then you learn more. No, you break more barriers. But 3 to 4 weeks, I would say, is the starting point.
Yeah.
The name of the method we use is the communication method, and that's how it works. We start speaking only present tense, and once the students are able to master present tense, we move on to learning past. And you know that Spanish has quite a few past tenses, no? So once we master present, we move on to past, and after that, the third level is learning the subjunctive tense. So that's normally how we do it. So with a beginner, with a student that is a beginner, we start only speaking in present.
Okay.
For the first few weeks, actually. For the first few weeks.
Yeah. Now, if you've made it this far, here's a bonus tip for it. The bonus tip is understanding the different times of the day is important, such as morning, afternoon, or evening. Even being able to communicate in relationship to today what you need, such as I need something yesterday, day before yesterday, tomorrow, or next Tuesday, or next week, or as they say in Spanish, the week to come, la semana viene. This is a particularly useful skill for setting appointments for services or creating reservations for a restaurant. Even just from the simple greeting standpoint of saying good morning, good afternoon, good night, buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, this is definitely something you will hear and use often. If you want to know how to get beyond just survival Spanish, check out the video over here on how to thrive in Mexico. Until next time, this has been MexitPlans Monty. Yo, I'm glad to be back. I'm out.